Rise and shine, beloved, rise and shine. Great grand rising. Great grand rising. Come on in, come on in. Let me go ahead and put a great grand rising up to start the comments over on Facebook. Okay, we're not there yet. Give me just a second, beloved. Come on in, come on in. Take this moment and go ahead and tag your friends and your family members. Let them know Spiritual Success TV is live. All right, let me put just a grand rising up here in the comments. All right, there you go. All right, lovelies, let's go. Come on, give me a great grand rising. Give me a good morning. Let me know that you're here. We are so excited that we are here today. I'm so thankful and so grateful. Let's do what we do over here. I want to thank you for connecting again with Spiritual Success TV Live, where we are here lighting the way. Good morning, Brian. Lighting the way to help you create a clear path forward. I am dedicated to delivering personal and spiritual empowerment that will be the true catalyst for transformation in your life. And I want you to affirm with me today that I am a divine reflection of the glory of God. As He is above, so am I here right now. Come on, take a good healing deep breath in. Let's just really calm the nervous system. Exhale. Relax. Come present. Bring all your energy, your focus, and your attention right here to this sacred moment. Nothing is more powerful, nothing is more important than this present moment. This is the moment of creative power. Deep breath in. Exhale. Turn that focus inward. Learn to tap in. This is where the true riches of the kingdom in your rich inner life, the kingdom of God that is within. There is infinite power, infinite potential, all wisdom, all grace, everything that you need if you learn to tap in. One more for the power of 3. And exhale. All right, beloved. Yes, 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 we're here. Come on in, lovelies. Thanks for joining us live today. Let's jump right into it today. I'm going to be looking at the email I sent out, and we're going to go. So I want to say Happy New Year. We are at the head of the year, and I was live on Thursday evening, and I started laying this foundation. I want to go deeper and pull out some things so that you can be ahead. So according to God's calendar of blessings, God have a calendar of blessings, right? In the Judaic segment of the Abrahamic religions, and we are, one of the 3 Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, right? We are at the head of the year. Can somebody type head of the year? Head of the year. Really, this is the real first quarter, and this is a principle that we have embraced in our community that helps us get a real jump start. So a unique call has been released, beckoning you to shake yourself, wake up, and step into your God self like never before. I talked about that on Thursday evening, how I feel such an urgency to really just shake you and say, wake up. It's now or never, beloved, now or never. So again, so I pray that you would join me in the 8-week transformation training program that's coming up. And if you're ready to jumpstart and set your best year into motion, come and join us. Come and join us. Hey, Reese, thanks for joining us live. Yes, it's the head of the year. I missed you last week, sweetie. All right. I'm going to be sending you something. I want to make sure. I think that, yeah, you're on the list. I want to make sure I have your good email address so that I can get you set up for next week. Okay. Yes, my gift. All right. So let's look at this, beloved. We are at the head of the year. This is the fall quarter, quote unquote, the fall quarter. But according to God's calendar of blessing, this is the first quarter of the new year. You need to put this in your notes. Listen, those, whatever you want to call them, powers that be, whatever words that you give to it. That's not my point here. I just want to say this, that there is a whole other segment of society that understand these principles and they know how to work them to get the head start that they need in their lives, right? So while according to the Gregorian calendar, we're saying it's the fourth quarter, and it's no incident that all of the holidays that contribute to economic movement in our society, especially here in the Western Hemisphere, is at this quarter, because really this is the first quarter. But we're saying, according to the Gregorian calendar, it's the fourth quarter. So if you stay with that mindset only, that this is the fourth quarter and you're at the end, what they do, the ones that know better, they understand that this is the beginning. So they take all of the economic advantages that's happening during these next 3 months, during our high holy season, high holiday, holy day season, and they set themselves up for the year coming in. So we are at a very good impasse, because we're going to have the benefit of activating the head of this year. And also, when we flip over to the Gregorian calendar, we have the benefit for that as well. So this is the real good news, and I want you really paying attention so that you can get this and write this down. So in the Gregorian calendar last year, it was a universal 7 year. And remember, God is a God of numbers. You don't want to sleep on numbers, because numbers are powerful. Everything in creation has a number attached to it. All right. So different lesson for a different day. First quarter of the fiscal year economically. Yes, Brian, you got it. Yes. And so what I want to help you do today, and we're going to go much deeper into these kinds of principles in class, because I want you to remember you are a spirit being that possesses a soul, your mind, will, emotion, intellect, see the appetite, see the desire, and you live in a physical body. And we want all of it to work. So in our community, and what my assignment is to dig deep and to bring you a good view of the metaphysical, that which is beyond the physical, that which is in the quantum realm of consciousness, to understand how things work, so that you are not just hitting and missing. You're not just floating along and going along and accepting anything that comes into your purview. So this is the good news, beloved. The good news is that last year in the Gregorian calendar, we set some things up, right? So let me back up by saying this. Everything is energy. You know that. Everything has an energy attached to it. Rather it's color, right? Rather it's numbers, rather it's alphabets, rather it's food, rather it's an environment, rather everything is energy. Can you talk back to me? Come on, let's reinforce that today. Everything is energy. And then energy and spirit are synonymous. Thanks for the love, you guys. We need that for the algorithm. All right? So, and if you haven't liked the video, please do that. Everything is energy. So last year in the Gregorian calendar, when we were in 2023, that came out to be a universal 7 year. So if you were with me, there were many things that we were promoting for you to be able to tap in energetically to what that represented. So here's the good news, according to the Hebraic calendar and God's calendar blessing. Watch this. I'm getting excited. You have another benefit of a 7 year. So in the Hebraic calendar, we are in 5785, right? So on the sundown, I believe it was October 2nd, was Rosh Hashanah. And if you all have done your little study research or you've been with me, you know what that is. At sundown, they blast the ram's horn, and that signal of the ram's horn being blast signifies that we're going into a new year, right? Yes, everything is energy and have a significant frequency vibration. Yes, 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 you got it. And so my job is to help you learn how to tap in to these vibrational frequencies so that you learn how to create them for yourself. Big part of what we're going to do, right? Okay, so we had a 7-year last year in Gregorian, and there were many things that we tapped in and we focused in on to take advantage of a universal 7-year. Well, here we are at the head of the calendar. If you missed it in the Gregorian, you get another opportunity. So, beloved, it's all about being able to manage your mindset. Your mindset, this right up here in the soulish realm, is so important because this soulish realm can either agree with spirit and propel your life into something amazing, or it can agree with the ego realm, the flesh realm, the 3D physical realm, right? And when it does that and agree, then you'll get a different kind of manifestation. So again, as we look at this, I want to just break down a few things about 5785, and I'm looking at the notes, and these notes will be uploaded in our classroom, all right? So, and you can do this research. This is nothing deep, but my part is to help you really start focusing and tapping in to what's available. That's the whole point of bringing this into your conscious awareness so that you know the help, the support, the aid that you have to move your life forward, right? So when we look at 5785, and in numerology, you add those numbers up, right? Now, this goes back to your church brain, your Christian thinking, your religious thinking. They purposely kept us out of all of this and demonized everything so that you wouldn't come into your power. But can somebody talk back to me and say, I'm going to embrace my power? You cannot be afraid of your power, right? And so you heard me say this many times. You know, when you want to control, Grand Rising, Lisa, thanks for joining us live. When you want to control and you want to keep a people down, then what do? You keep them locked out of everything. But the good news, again, we have another opportunity to take advantage of a universal 7-year. And we want to start locking and coming to conscious awareness of the help that's here for you so you didn't miss anything. Can somebody talk back to me? Yes, 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 yes. I'm embracing my power. You didn't miss anything, right? Come on, I want you to really encourage yourself. Come on, talk to me. I didn't miss anything. Because the ego mind will want to tell you you're too late, you're too old, you missed it, you can't make it work, you tried it already. But we want to clear all of that out today because we have another opportunity. So let me say two things and then I'm going to break down the 5785, right? So when we look at coming into this high holy season, right? And these are the same holy days, holidays that everyone in your sacred text celebrated, including Jesus the Christ. These holy days were never outlawed. So what do we want to do? We want to wake up and we want to take advantage of what's in these holy days. So in our communication, yes, I didn't miss anything. And in our community, I purposely scheduled this transformation gathering to start right here while we're in the holy days, holiday, right, of the new year. And we started a 7-day consecration on October 1st. It will conclude tomorrow, but not for me, right? And it doesn't have to be for you either if you feel to continue when we start class tomorrow, right? Then, with the blasting of the ram horns, we enter into the new year, and then we go into what they call the days of awe. It's like a 10-day stretch Days of awe, AWE. These are days when you should be consecrating, contemplating, concentrating, right? Put that in your notes. Consecration, consecrating, contemplating, and concentrating. Your concentration should be about concentration, contemplating. It's a time of repentance, and repentance means changing your mind, coming back to the high place, the penthouse, raising your thoughts, raising your frequency, coming back to the high place. And then with Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, all of that is wrapped up in these 10 days. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at 5785. So in numerology, what you do with numbers is that you add them up separately until you come out. So when you add 5785, it equals 25. And then you break it down to a single digit number. There are some master numbers that you don't break down, like 11 and 22 and 33. But for the most part, when you get to the double digit, you break it down to a single digit. So when you break 2 and 5 together to get that single digit, it comes out to a 7, right? So you know that the number 7, I'm looking at the notes here, is deeply symbolic in spiritual context, right? Representing divine perfection. Wait, now we're going somewhere. Spiritual insight, connection between the spiritual and material worlds. Watch this. It implies a year of focus on spiritual growth, introspection, and the completion of important spiritual cycles. What are we talking about here? So that's what we get with the number 7. And then when we look at let me just do this so we can get this in. When we look at the number 8, 8 is the presence of new beginning, significant change, right? Old structures must give way to new possibilities. I want you to write that down. Old structures must move out the way. It has to make room for new possibility, right? That's the whole point of us going here. 7, divine order and alignment. 7, divine order and alignment. The 7 is strong. So is the number 5. 5 represents change, transformation, growth. And there are 2 5s in 5785. So you're getting double that energy. What are we talking about? Why are you saying this, Dr. E? Because these are things that are in place to support you. And so later I'm going to show you how you're going to get the best advantage out of the 7 year, and in the Gregorian calendar is the 9 year. But I wanted to bring this to the forefront just in case you missed it last year and you didn't take advantage of the energy of 7. You have another opportunity to do it. Take a good healing deep breath in and exhale. With that being said, I want to hone in on this. And this is for all of us, myself included. I want to talk a little bit about mindset and how this is such a vital key to you being able to make differences in your life. Now, the issue and the problem that we all run in is discipline. Discipline. This is for all of us, right? Myself included. What happens is that when we get a hold of new information, new teaching, new illumination that comes to mind, what bucks up against us is our old habits. You know this, right? The way that we live, the way that we are used to, our law of rhythm, the way that we move, the way that we flow, we eventually fall back into that. That's why I created the 1 in 7 tool to help us be able to create the new habit, the new mindset, the new lifestyle, and then do that one at a time and then repeat it over and over and over. Y'all know my saying, 30 days a new habit, 60 days a new mindset, 90 days a new lifestyle. And we have to make a commitment to ourselves that you are not going to stop. Make that commitment to yourself. You are not going to stop. I am not going to stop until I see the shifting in my life, right? So, mindset, the way you think, the way you feel, what you focus on, what you say is so important. A Course in Miracles says this. It says that I am responsible for what I will see. I'm responsible for what I see. I'm responsible for the thoughts that I think, and I am responsible for the goals that I will achieve. Me. In 1999, somewhere around in there, one of the first books that I got a hold of that enhanced my personal development journey was As a Man Thinketh, a classic by James Allen. Anybody know that book? Yes, yes, yes. I'm not going to stop until I feel the shifting, right? Until I see the shifting and I'm experiencing the shifting. Yes, yes, yes. So the first book that I got a hold of was As a Man Thinketh. And you know how the sacred text says that as a man thinketh, so is he. Classic by James Allen. If you never read that book, it's a good thing to do. It's one of my classics, one that I keep all the time. Another book that really helped me a lot, these are just resources, and all of you have probably read this, is Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. It's all small stuff. All of these things started helping me to get control and manage my mindset. If you're like me, especially if you're born under the communication era, communication forces and vibrations, right? If that is in your sun sign, my mind is very active. Yours may be too. My mind was going all the time, chit-chatting, chit-chatting, chit-chatting. And you know, some people refer to it as your roommate, because it is your roommate. It lives with you, the inner voice, the inner critic, the inner imagination. Rather, if you're on that low 4D spectrum or vain imagination or high 4D, my mind would just go, it would talk all the time, all the time, all the time. And I remember way back in the 90s when I learned how to tell my soul, take a rest. You just got to take a rest. And then over the years, learning how to manage the mind, that now, when we get into mindset mastery, we can quiet the mind at will. At any time, we can quiet the mind. And then again, see, there was still a lot of things, I remember when we were in church and they would tell us that, you know, never let your mind be idle. Never let your mind go blind. We're talking about when we're praying in the spirit. This is why they didn't encourage meditation, because they had us so fearful that if something wasn't always going on in the mind and in the head, something was going to jump in and get you. Can somebody talk back to me and say, I don't have time for that foolishness. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. Because when you learn to quiet the ego mind, the super ego voice, the chatterbox that spews what I call the creepy crap all the time, want to tell you what's not going to work, what's not going to happen, you're dumb, you know, how could you do this, you're stupid, here you go again. You have to learn how to quiet that voice, how to come into divine stillness, how to be quiet, so that you can hear the voice of the spirit from within, the voice of the heart, the voice of the higher self, the Holy Spirit, whatever language works for you. You have to learn how to hear that voice and trust it, and then take the actions. So when we talk about mindset, it's about what you see. how you judge what you see, how you think, that internal dialogue, that incessant chatter that comes from the ego mind, how you feel, your emotions, when your emotions get flipped on, right? How you feel about a thing. All of that, beloved, is your power to create. And so many of us have been creating by default, but we want to have the discipline now to create by design. Can somebody talk back to me? And put it in the present tense. I am creating by design. I am the designer. I am creating by design. I'm creating, not default. When we create by default, we do that when we are asleep. We're walking through life asleep, meaning that you're just in your habit, you're in your routine, you're doing the same thing every day, day in, day out, day in, day out. And I get this, and Lisa and I talk about this a lot, and I thought about it last night, how important it is to shake things up, right? Your habits and your routine don't want you to shake things up. Like when we talk about just getting on a plane, just going somewhere, shaking up that routine. And I'm a creature of habit, so I could talk about me. I'm the kind of person, I can set routines and habits in order, and I can live in that routine forever, right? I could just live in that same routine forever. But you have to be able to shake up the routine, shake up the energy, shake up your environment every now and then to get new energy moving. When we go into class, we're going to talk a lot about the law of the lift, right? And how to accelerate. You've got to be able to shake things up every now and then. If not, you get stuck in a perpetual habit, a perpetual frequency, right? And a frequency is nothing more than vibrations that are compound, that you vibrate at a certain level so long, it becomes a frequency, right? We've been tuned into the same frequency so for so long, that's why we keep getting the same results. We got to shake things up. So you're responsible for what you see, where you put your eyes, where you put your attentions, what you think about, what you're seeing, how you feel. Jesus the Christ is recorded in the non-canonical Gospel of Thomas as saying this, right? When your thoughts and your emotions, I want you to really get this. When your thoughts and your emotions agree, when they marry each other, this is the part we were missing in the canonical Gospel, in the King James Bible. We was missing this part that Thomas said, when your thoughts and your emotions marry one another and agree. Then we see the Gospels and King James pick it up and says, then you can speak to the mountain. You see the difference? Okay, so we grew up with, you can say to the mountain, be removed and be cast into the sea. And, and it shall be done. If you don't doubt in your heart, right? Whatsoever things you desire when you pray, believe that you receive and you shall have what you say. All right. So we grew up with that. You can say to the mountain, speak to the mountain, be removed, be cast into the sea. And the mountain is a metaphor for whatever is going on in your life, right? But what we were missing was what the Gospel of Thomas said, that you could speak to the mountain all day long, but if your thoughts about that mountain and the way you feel and your emotions about that mountain is not in agreement with it being moved and cast into the sea, you won't have what you say, because you're not in alignment and agreement. It's like putting your foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. Nothing's going to move. You're going to stay stalled. And so what happens to us is that we do that. I've made declarations in my life, right? This is how I know this works. I've made declarations in my life and I said, okay, I'm making according to like the 1 in 7 tool. I'm making this decision. This is the desire. I'm making this decision. This is why I'm making the decision. And without that tool helping me to stay disciplined and moving that mountain, what happens is that after a few days, beloved, this is why we call it the 1 in 7. Help you get through those first 7 days, because anytime you set a new goal declaration and you don't have support in place, usually you don't get past day 3. Day 3 is the first hump to get over, because depending on how deeply you were ingrained in a certain habit, right? And all parts of your nervous system and the neurons in your brain and your hormone, all of that was tied into this habit. Sometimes you don't even make it past day 3, right? But I've noticed many times in my life how I would be going in a certain direction, and let's stay with the example of speaking to the mountain. It doesn't matter if it's a mountain of debt, a mountain called addiction, a mountain called bad relationships, whatever the mountain is. You go to speak to the mountain and declare, I'm coming out of this. And you can walk that road for a few days, maybe even a week if you're good. But then what happens is that everything in your vibrational frequency that was vibrating at debt, vibrating at addiction, vibrating at bad relationships, vibrating at no self-worth, it starts feeling uncomfortable, because now you tune into another station. You change the frequency, right? You turn that dial to tune into another station that says, I'm financially free. I'm financially stable. I'm living my best life. But everything in your nervous system and everything that you think about yourself starts feeling out of place, right? You remember unconscious block? We talk about that pattern piece, trying to get back in place. So then everything in the subconscious mind said, well, wait a minute. Y'all heard this. I've said this many times. That's not what you said. You said that you want to be alone. You said you don't like people. You said that you're afraid of rejection. So we're protecting you. So what you're trying to do right now, we got to shut it down. See, that's not evil or wicked. It's not a demon. It is your servant from the subconscious realm, the quantum realm, right? That says, no, you sent us a message and said that you were afraid. So we're protecting you. So this new frequency that you're trying to tap into, we got to shut that down. And how it shuts it down, it does it in such a loving, easy, and gentle way. What does it do? It puts you to sleep. It puts you to sleep. What happens? How does that happen? Your mind just slips. And all of a sudden, when you were focused on trying to go this way, you go to sleep for a minute because a thought will come up, right? So let's say, for instance, you're in this community and you're following hard in this community and you making some changes, and then we get to a critical place, and let's say we're coming into next week, and you set the intention, I'm going to transcend, I'm going to transmute, I'm going to transform. And you set that intention and you start going in that direction. How you go to sleep is that the super ego voice, because now it's uncomfortable. Now you're trying to go somewhere and it don't know where you're going. It doesn't have the control. It doesn't know how to protect you. So something to come up in your mind like, yeah, I don't know what Dr. E is talking about. I'm kind of tired of listening to that because I don't know. You don't even know you thought the thought. You don't even know you thought it. And the next thing you know, you start going to sleep for a minute, right? And this happens as we go throughout. I remember even, this just happened to me last year in my own mentoring program with my long-term mentor that I've been with for over a decade, right? Probably a decade and a half by now. And so when I show up for our weekly meetings in our group setting, I'm faithful, I'm consistent, because that's the investment I'm making in myself, right? And then last year, I noticed that all of a sudden, I was getting very sleepy during that class session. And I saw it and I caught it. Pay attention, guys. And I said, I never get sleepy this time of day. This is not my time of day to get sleepy. Beloved, that lasts, I'm not exaggerating, that lasts for about 3 months. But I had enough sense to know, because I'm in mindset mastery, I knew that all the things that we were working on, I knew that what I wanted to get to was on the other side. And I just had to laugh at it. And I knew that it would pass. 3 months of getting sleepy, trying to be distracted. What was happening? My subconscious mind wanted to try to protect me from God, but I knew to stay with it. This is why I say discipline is the thing that takes us out. Discipline is the thing that takes us out. And if you're not trained, if you're untrained when it comes to mindset management, you'll start thinking something's wrong. I'm bored. I'm tired of this. This doesn't make sense to me. Oh, I can't hear what they're saying. This doesn't make any sense, right? The mind tries to kick in and say all of that because it wants to take you out. Can somebody talk back to me and say, I will not be taken out? I will not be taken out. Yes, 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 yes. I'm creating. Yes, Brian, not by default, right? I will not be taken out. Now, that was my own ego mind, according to programming that was in the subconscious mind, that was uncomfortable because I was changing the dial. I was tuned into another station. And then after about 3 months, it lifted. And everything that I was working on and working toward, the breakthrough that I wanted for myself, was on the other side. But when you're untrained in mindset management, we fall into those traps all the time. I'm tired. I can't do no more. It's not working. Listen, it's okay for you to get upset. It's okay for you to even have a little meltdown every now and then, as long as you know, and eventually you'll get beyond that. As long as you know you can't stay there. And that even when we go through and have meltdowns, you have to make a choice to come back up and keep moving. Come back up and keep going, right? And you cannot stay there long, because you don't want to set another ripple effect in motion. You don't want to set another ripple effect in motion that calls in certain energies to support you in that meltdown, where now you just sleep. And when you wake up again, 6 months then pass, and you was like, dang, I was working on this. So, beloved, in this divine year of 7, according to the Hebraic calendar of God's blessing, I want you taking advantage of the fact that we have. I want to look at this because you're in the energy for, write this in your note, significant changes, right? Put my glasses on. You're in the energy. You have support now for significant changes, new beginning. I can breathe. I can reset. I can start up, right? We already talked about new structures for new possibilities. That's why I called the class New Frequencies for New Reality. How to reset your mindset for success, right? We're coming into divine order and alignment. Come on, that's all within. This is why you have to learn how to shut the noise out from without, turn that focus in, tap in, relax. That's why I do that kind of activation. Relax, come present, because in the present moment is where the power is. In the present moment is where the power is. It's not in the past. It's not in the future. The power is in the present moment. Now we can visit the future or visit the past, like we said, and really and truly, it's all one thing. When you get to understand metaphysics, and you understand how things work in the unseen realm, and you're in higher dimensions of consciousness, you understand that everything is just one thing. But for our purposes here in this 3D dimension, we say the past, we say the future, but neither one of them really exist. They really don't. Because even when you get to the future, you'll still be in today. You'll be in the present moment. The present moment is the place of power. This is why you have to tap in, come present, hear the voice of spirit within, tapping into your God self, your higher self, right? The Holy Spirit, whatever language works, tapping in. And then, as I say in the School of the Prophets, what are you going to do? Look to see. Because you're not using your mind, you're using your heart, your spirit. You're going to look to see. When you're in this relaxed state, this is why you must learn to meditate. And there are many ways to do that. You must learn to be still so you can look to see, listen to hear, sense to feel. What is your higher self, the Holy Spirit, showing to you? What's being asked of you? Yes, 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 Brian, you can. I can breathe. I can reset and I can start over every day, all day. Every day, all day. This is the power of breath. Breath and spirit are synonymous. When you take that healing deep breath in, and y'all know the proper breath to take in through the nostrils, when you breathe in, your abdomen goes out. So when you breathe in through the nose, your abdomen goes out. When you exhale, your abdomen contracts and come in. That's a healing breath. And you let it out through the mouth. You can breathe, you can reset, and you can start over. That will keep you from reacting when you should respond. Just giving yourself, and the beauty of it, beloved, you can do it anytime, any place, anywhere. Nobody has to know what you're doing, right? I have all kinds of little things I used to put in place, and the people that know me well know that that's what I was doing. When somebody would ask me a question, this is when I start learning how to say no. And no is a complete sentence. It doesn't need an explanation. But even like with taking a breath, people would say, can you do so-and-so? Will you come so-and-so? And when you hear me go, that's the same as taking a breath. That little gave me a pause where I can turn inward and I can say to myself, you know, you can't do that. You know, that's not in your best interest. You cannot hurt yourself to help someone else. Say no. And so when I talk to like spiritual deep folk, like church folk, I would have to say, in order to shut them down because they don't understand no, I would have to say, I'm not released to do that at this time. Full stop. They can't say why or how come. I'm not released to do that at this time. I don't have the cash available for that. I didn't say I didn't have the cash. I said I don't have the cash available. Big difference for that. Y'all better talk back to me. Why? This is how you begin to honor yourself. You have to say things in a way where it's true and it's honest for you so that your esteem begins to build. And the more your esteem builds, the stronger you get, the more empowered you get, right? So, okay, lovely, listen, you still have an opportunity. Come and join us. We're going to start tomorrow. I want you to come and join us. There's the URL right there. New frequencies for new reality is all about how to really reset this mindset and get the discipline, get the support, the courage and the confidence to stick with the thing. Stick with it, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it until you can get the results of it. And some things, I admit to you, depending on what you were raised in, is more difficult than others. But all miracles begin with the foundation of love. Can you write that in your notes? Love is the foundation of all miracles, all wealth, all well-being. Love is that foundation. We're going to get into this. We're going to hit the reset button, take advantage of the number 7, and we're starting tomorrow at noon. So if you want to be with us, come on, inbox me, send me an email, let me know. We're going to do this. You have to invest in yourself. Nobody's going to save you. Nobody's going to rescue you. You got to rescue yourself. All right. Okay, lovelies, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and release you with many blessings for the rest of your day and your week. I know it's the first of the month. I usually set the prophetic directive for the month, but this is what I wanted to really get out today. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow in the Success Lounge. Watch your email. The email should have went out this morning with the link, and you already know not to give that link to anyone. This is a private, exclusive setting, and we're going to be ready to go. 8 weeks together, all right? Have a blessed, wonderful, and amazing rest of your day. Love you guys so much. Bye-bye.